Hey, good afternoon, everyone, once again. I know you're just getting your first few bites of your main entree there, but we want to get the program started and underway. So if you could please take your seats now, and we'll get it going here. You know, one thing that's really special this year is the National Academy of Television Arts and Sciences has revamped the way they, the actual awards for Gold and Silver Circle. Previously, you got a pin, you got a plaque, and that was about it. Well, now they've come through with these beautiful new medallions, like the one I'm holding up here. Isn't that beautiful? Now, the neat thing about this is you can wear this around your neck, but you also get a second medallion that's encased that you can take home to hang on the wall. So what I've done is I want to bring up Joyce Mitchell, who really is instrumental in producing this entire show. She's a member of the Circle herself. And so, Joyce, I would like to first hood you with this Silver Circle medallion for all your work and for your 25 plus years in the industry. So I'm going to turn it over to Joyce now to get our program started.
Thank you all for being here. I come into this room and I see the faces, and I know we're not related by blood, but it's family. I feel the family here. I've laughed, I've cried with everybody in this room. I've connected with practically everyone here along the way, from Sacramento to San Francisco to Reno to Hawaii to Fresno, all over. Today we represent well our regions in the induction of the Gold and the Silver Circle, and I'm proud to be standing here announcing people and saying congratulations. It's huge. This is a big deal for those of us who are veterans and who've managed to do this for 25 or 50 years. Can you imagine? We are the survivors, and we are here to show the young people that it can be done, and we as women especially, spending, yes, women, woo! I was talking to Tracey, who's going into the silver today, and we don't give up. 25 plus is a good start. It's a good start. We're going for 50. We're going all the way, because in the gold, we have 31 members. We have 5 women. 5 women. And we can do it. I know we can do it. It's in us, and we're going to do it. So yes, yes, yes. And speaking of the gold, may I have members of the Gold Circle stand, please, so we can give you a round of applause. That's 50 plus years. And remember, this is not only about time. This is about time and dedication and commitment to the community, to the industry. It means you've spent the time in the newsroom, you've spent the time in the field, and you've also spent time giving back. Silver Circle people, could I have you stand, please? Silver Circle. What a joy it is to be here with all of you. That's all I can say. We have, the Silver Circle started in 1986, and we have 313 members. Gold Circle started in 2002. We have 31 members. Along the way, we have lost people. And we are going to, in a moment, take a look at an in memoriam and pay tribute. But first, I'd like to thank a few people. Terri Lowry, forever. She is the reason I'm standing here, and I have been standing here. Terri Lowry, forever in my heart and my soul, and she keeps me going. and remembering that we don't ever stop. We don't quit. We don't give up. We always make a difference. And Kurtis, Ming, as I told you, your job assignment now is to mentor someone else. Take them under wing and mentor them. That's what we do as Gold and Silver Circle members and those of us in this room. I'd like to thank Darryl Compton for all of his work, Steve Schlitzky, Brooks DeRose. Couldn't have done this. I always maintain television as a team sport, and this has been a team effort here today. And now I would like to take a look at the In Memoriam. It's the Linda Giannichini In Memoriam, and we say farewell.
You know, KCRA TV was first with videotape.
He's traveled more places for more stories than any Northern California news journalist.
Cambodia, Cuba, Turkey. All eyes are on Geneva.
The important thing was that the work was good. The work was something you could really be proud of.
It was hard, but I never did I doubt that it was worth it.
Other news tonight, campus police at Cal State Hayward.
People act like they like me.
We do like you! What are you doing?
Dennis, come on!
For the last time, it was with great joy and great sadness that I say good night and goodbye.
For those we are saying goodbye to, farewell, never forgotten, a moment of silence, please. Thank you. I do have to say, Stan Atkinson was my mentor. He was my teacher. He showed me the way. He took me under wing in 1975, 1976 at KCRA. And we duked it out, and we both won. We both won. And till the day he died, he remembered my name, and he remembered I was his producer. The business, again, it's family. We may not be related by blood, but we are related by television. And on that note, I am inviting our MC, David Louie. He is probably half the reason the Academy is surviving. He's done every single job in this television academy. He ran it for a while. He's a member of the Gold Circle. He is a member of the Silver Circle. He has received the Governor's Award. And without any further ado, I ask you to come up onto stage, please, and MC our wonderful event today. And it is my honor to give him his new gold. There you go. I get it. Never forgotten. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Joyce, and I certainly was not expecting this, so thank you. I really, really appreciate it. But you know, we are here to celebrate our newest inductees in the Silver and the Gold Circles. And we need to look around this room because, as Joyce mentioned the word survivors, yes, we are survivors in the best sense of the word. Because we've gone through all the changes in the TV world. We've seen all the events that have happened in our community. We are definitely going to try to be here for the future, and we continue to want to serve our communities as much as we can. You know, Devin mentioned earlier, by the way, that 2 of the scholarship recipients were not able to be here because of the distance of travel. But I do want to acknowledge, just briefly, that Debbie Phillips is here. She's the sister of Robert K. KOLO, whose memorial scholarship was presented for the first time this year. She flew in from Honolulu and just arrived off the plane, so she was not here for the presentation, but we're so glad that Debbie is here. Thank you so much for being here. Now, to be considered for the Silver Circle, that means this year's honorees had to have been working in TV before the year 2000. Now, to put that in perspective, that was the year of rolling blackouts here in California, the 5.0 magnitude Yountville earthquake, and the dot-com boom. The transition was beginning for digital and high-definition television, and we saw the beginning of nonlinear editing. And for the Gold Circle, they had to be working prior to 1975, the year of Squeaky Fromm's assassination attempt on President Ford in Sacramento. Remember that? I hear some murmuring in the Sacramento group. And the eruption of Mauna Loa on the Big Island of Hawaii for the first time in 25 years. We were starting to abandon typewriters in 1975, making the way for computers. Film was making the way for videotape. Ikigami and Sony handheld cameras and microwave live trucks were ushering the era of live shots. So that's the context of what we're talking about. These people we're honoring today were part of those revolutions in those years. We've come a long way. We've survived ownership and affiliation changes, broken teleprompters, new sets, and consultants. However, today isn't about longevity. It's about legacy and the people who made this profession better, who trained those who followed, and whose body of work we celebrate today. So let's get started. Our first Silver Circle inductee is Jodi Hernandez, and to present to her is Keith Berry, managing editor at NBC Bay Area KNTV. Now, Keith became KNTV's managing editor in 2013 and does it all. He oversees the daily operations and workflow of the newsroom, manages staff, assigns content, ensures journalistic standards are upheld. He has been an executive producer at ABC7, where we cross paths, and a news producer and freelance writer at CBS 5. He's also worked at KHON and Clear Channel. Now, Keith knows the market well, and he's here to introduce Jodi Hernandez. Before you step up here, though, Keith, I want to mention one thing. When the honorees come up here after your acceptance speech, please stand here for the awarding of your medallion, and then immediately go over to the standing panel over there for your photograph. So please be sure to do that. Stay here on stage, get your medallion, go over for the photo, and then we'll continue the program. Keith, it's all yours.
You'll have to excuse me if it takes a moment. I am starstruck. As I look around this room, I am distinctly proud to be able to say that I've worked with some of the legends in this business. I'm staring at a legend in front of me, Rigo Chacon, who has launched careers for people I've been lucky enough to work with since. As I continue to look around this room, I get to see many, many more who had the distinct pleasure of never having to work with me. So you're luckier than you know. We are here today to talk about Jodi Hernandez, the latest inductee to the Silver Circle. And I wrote a rather lengthy speech. I realized as I started to write it that I had a problem that Jodi is normally the one who has, which is that I had more things to say than my editor would give me time to say them. That speech is sitting in the trunk of my car. And instead, I've decided I'm going to tell you the story of how that speech came to not be. When Jodi Hernandez first approached me and told me that she was going to be inducted into the Silver Circle and that she had liked me to speak on her behalf, I had two very distinct reactions. My first was the obvious, like, congratulations. This is an immense honor. This is as deserved as it should be, but it is a stunning honor. My second reaction was far more personal, and that was, why would you want a two-bit hack who forgot to put the blade in his razor to put you in, as opposed to getting somebody talented? But nevertheless, here we are. And so I sat down and I began the process of trying to figure out how I encapsulate the journalistic life of a storied journalist. And it haunted me. I found myself in the middle of work trying to rack through ways that I should do this, trying to organize the thoughts for how it is you describe someone who has done so much for so many. Talented, dogged, driven, tenacious, compassionate, graceful, caring, understanding, single-minded, focused, frustrating, maddening, compassionate, caring. I got to the end of the list and I realized that I had only learned two things in the course of it. One is that at some point I read a dictionary, and another is that at some point I read a thesaurus. But neither seemed to catch what it was I was trying to say about a journalist. And I struggled. I woke up in the middle of nights with it. I had dreams about what speeches looked like. I had moments where David Louis threw bread to get me off the stage. I didn't know quite where that was going. And about 2 hours before I came today, I put the speech in my trunk. Because after all of this, I realized I only needed one word. Storyteller. Jodi Hernandez is a storyteller. Jodi Hernandez is a tenacious, dogged, compassionate, unbelievably caring, singularly focused, exceptional storyteller. Throughout the course of any journalistic life, you are given no shortage of advice. I know I haven't been. Everybody's got something to tell you. And you get to decide what it is you're going to take and what it is you're going to leave. And I've been blessed to get some of the best advice on the face of the planet, but I found that over time, there was one piece. There was one piece that was always true. There was a person very early in my career who told me, a good story, well told, will always find its audience. Jodi Hernandez is a storyteller, and hers is a great story, exceptionally told. I am honored to induct Jodi Hernandez into the Silver Circle.
I'm standing on what used to be the home.
No matter the assignment, if other reporters see Jodi Hernandez arrive on scene, they know they'll have to work twice as hard to keep up with her. The veteran journalist has mastered the profession and continues to trailblaze on camera.
Jodi, you are the picture of commitment, resilience, but always with a human touch. You end up telling some of our hardest stories, but you also know how to have a good time, make us laugh. We are so privileged to have you as part of this team.
Jodi began her career at KCPM in Chico, California. Her goals were big, but her work ethic was even bigger. Jodi quickly moved on to Cake TV.
Here in Wichita, Kansas. She was a producer. Then she decided she was going to try reporting, and she is a rock star.
I'll tell you what.
Jodi soon returned closer to home, excelling on the air at KOVR TV in Sacramento.
13 News exclusive.
There she scored an exclusive sit-down interview with then Congressman Gary Condit regarding the disappearance of Chandra Levy.
Why then did it take you 3 interviews to tell police that you had an affair with Chandra Levy?
I don't know why they would be suspicious of me. Do you feel Condit answered your questions?
I felt it was very rehearsed.
That catapulted Jodi into the Bay Area, and she brought her tenacity with her.
Boom Boom Hernandez. That was the nickname we gave Jodi more than 20 years ago. She just made such a splash in this market. Her exclusive interviews, her hard-hitting reporting, and her passion for what we do.
Scott wouldn't give us any more specifics about that day.
Jodi scored one of just a few sit-down interviews with Scott Peterson, grilling the convicted killer on the disappearance of Laci Peterson.
Scott, have you taken a lie detector test?
Her relentless pursuit of the truth was on full display.
Would you be willing to take a lie detector test?
That's pretty much the same question you just asked.
Relentless, tenacious, dogged, unflinching, persistent, candid, truthful, honest, and trustworthy. Those are all the words that I would use to describe Jodi. Those crocodile tears of Scott, she didn't fall for that. There is no outmaneuvering Jodi to get the interview. She always lands it, and she always does it with journalistic clarity.
Jodi was just getting warmed up.
Hon, why aren't you talking to police?
At NBC Bay Area, Jodi sprinted after murder suspect Hans Reiser.
Emergency.
My girlfriend, Ming, got kidnapped.
Did you kidnap Denise Huskins?
Another get for Jodi, the jailhouse interview with Matt Mueller, the former attorney and U.S. Marine, known as the Gone Girl kidnapper.
Certainly a very intricate story, but also a true one. The truth is stranger than fiction sometimes.
And don't forget Occupy. Running up and down Broadway in Oakland, dodging rubber bullets. Please, don't do a one-on-one interview with Jodi Hernandez. She's going to make you cry.
I'm especially pleased to award
the big accolades arrived. Jodi earned a prestigious DuPont Award for her work with NBC Bay Area's investigative unit on the violence facing AC transit drivers.
Jodi is now a Hall of Famer.
In 2017, Jodi was inducted into the Hall of Fame by the National Association of Hispanic Journalists.
What an honor. The Silver Circle is a big deal. I ride on your shoulders because you're a giant in this community.
Congratulations, Jodi.
Welcome to the Cirque, Jodi. We're so happy to have you.
Thanks for doing what you do. It matters.
And you definitely deserve this award.
I'm Jodi Hernandez. Back to you guys. Wow, Jodi, I can see how moved you are.
A passion for news, a commitment to the truth, a thirst to get it right every single time. Jodi Hernandez, a great ambassador for the Silver Circle.
That was amazing. Thank you so much to my NBC Bay Area team for putting that together and insisting that I not watch it until today. Matt and Damien, Keith, Dan, you guys did an amazing job telling my story, my 30-plus year story in just a few minutes. And I'm so grateful, I'm so moved. You know, when Joyce called me to tell me or sent me a message that I was being inducted into the Silver Circle, I immediately thought, oh my God, it's happening. I'm officially old. But despite my aches and pains, and it seems like I have new ones every week, I have just as much excitement and passion every single day to tell the stories of the Bay Area. I'm out there every day, and I love, love, love my job. It is such a privilege. But it really does seem like I was just a student at UC Berkeley taking BART and, yes, go Bears, into the city to intern at KBHK, Channel 44, and then later KHON TV, and dreaming that I'd someday be a reporter here in the Bay Area. And I was laser focused on getting here, but I didn't want to take any shortcuts. So I'm extremely grateful for my time in Chico, in the Midwest, at KOVR TV. I've got some of my colleagues there, so special, and I'm at table 13. I think that's a sign, that's where I earned my stripes and finally landed my dream job at NBC Bay Area, where I've been for 23 years. And Joyce, so many great colleagues here. And we really are a family. I see Rigo, who's been such a mentor to me, and we are a family. I want to thank speaking of family, I want to thank my family, my mom and dad, who gave me such a great work ethic. I recently interviewed my dad, who opened up about growing up in Russell City, which I never even knew existed. I know that was very painful for him, and so grateful that he shared that, and I'm really proud of that piece. My mom, I love you. My sister, who's been always encouraging me and always giving me tons of story tips. And of course, my husband, Victor, who has been with me from day one on this crazy, crazy journey. And then my boys, Jose and Mateo. Mateo couldn't be here because he is rehearsing for his high school musical, mandatory rehearsal. But my son, Jose, flew in from the University of Oregon yesterday. Thank you so much. You guys are my pride and joy. I know that I've worked a lot of long hours. I've missed holidays. I've not been home to cook dinner, which is probably a good thing. But you guys have sacrificed a lot, and I thank you. I love you, and thank you to the Academy. I'm just so proud to be among you. Thank you.
Our next Silver Circle inductee is Kurtis Ming, and the presenter is Mike Delastrito, CBS Vice President here from Los Angeles. He's a veteran of local news and CBS. He has been a reporter at KOVR in Sacramento, managing editor, and eventually became assistant news director, ultimately rising to the position of news director. Along the way, he spent some time at KPIX in San Francisco as managing editor, and now he serves as vice president and news director at CBS Los Angeles, including KCBS, KCAL, and the CBS streaming channel. Mike.
We saw the Scott Peterson clips from KOVR from Jodi, so on behalf of KOVR, thank you for the licensing fees that continue to be paid for that interview, Jodi. Hi, everybody. I've been friends with Kurtis Ming for 20 years now, roughly, and he knows just how much I hate saying nice things to his face, which is, I'm sure, why he asked me to introduce him today. I've had a front row seat to the passion that he has had for what isn't just a career or a craft, but truly a calling. He's the son of a South City firefighter, but when the Loma Prieta earthquake happened 36 years ago yesterday, it was the public service of journalism that hooked him instead. He produced newscasts from his bedroom. We were just talking about that minutes ago. He went to his family's house in Oroville, and he adjusted the big rooftop antenna because, as he discovered, he can tune in TV stations from Chico Redding, Bay Area, Sacramento, Reno. Funny that's how his career would go, starting off anchoring with Kristen Welker in Chico, then off to Reno, then to Sacramento. And all along the way, he's been a steadfast champion of journalism. He's been a champion of the journalists he's mentored. And most importantly, he's never forgotten the core responsibilities of serving the viewer and the community. Let's take a look.
36 years before joining KCRA 3.
Good morning, I'm Kurtis Ming.
Kurtis Ming was already chasing stories.
We will be keeping a close watch on this.
From his bedroom.
I think that the joke is that Kurtis Ming came out of the womb ready for television.
In college, he created WEBN, Emerson College's TV station. After stints behind the scenes at Dateline NBC, KGO TV, and KCOP, his big break came in Redding as an intern for KRCR. Kurtis volunteered to work a holiday weekend when no one else would, and there was big news. His coverage of a wildfire and tanker explosion earned this intern his own station promo.
It was like out of a movie. It exploded right in front of us.
And a full-time job. He'd report, anchor, forecast the weather, and eventually train the new hires.
Including me, Lisa Gonzalez, his current co-anchor.
And I'm Kristen Welker.
He trained Kristen Welker, now moderator of NBC's Meet the Press.
Kurtis Ming is one of my favorite people in the world. He just had such a wealth of knowledge and such a passion. I still have taken so many of my lessons that I learned from Kurtis all the way here to Washington.
His career then took him to Reno's KTVN, then to Sacramento's KOVR KCRA 13.
We're live tonight in Blue Canyon.
Covering everything from the Scott Peterson murder trial.
Death is the headline.
To Hurricane Katrina. He's reported from Mexico, New Zealand, South Korea, Thailand, Samoa, Germany, even Pakistan.
Young people are being trained every day to become suicide bombers.
And taught investigative journalism in Vietnam. But he's best known as Call Kurtis. For 19 years, his consumer advocacy program recovered millions for viewers.
Every time he comes in the door, he's looking to help the viewer.
Exposing shady businesses.
Why are you drilling this lock right here? You're just going to take off down the road with all of our stuff?
Cancel.
This couple preyed on an elderly woman claiming they cured cancer.
How can you say that?
Cancel.
What do you mean cancel? Deborah, you say you're a psychic.
Yes.
You didn't see this coming?
And that's when he spits on our photographer.
Good for you for doing this investigative reporting.
All while mentoring his colleagues.
He's made me a better journalist, and he's simply the gold standard of what journalism means.
After 22 years, Kurtis left KOVR, resurfacing months later at KCRA 3.
Congratulations, Kurtis!
It was back to work.
Tonight we are continuing our coverage of the explosions at a fireworks facility.
Navigating Northern California viewers through the biggest stories.
He really loves his work, providing context and insight that no one else thinks to look for, and it leads to some really impressive results.
We will be keeping a close watch on this.
Through decades of dedication and passion, Kurtis Ming uses the power of journalism to protect, advocate, and transform.
Wow, this is incredible. I knew I finally qualified for this when two people walked up to me in the newsroom and said, "Have you considered Botox?" Pointing out the wrinkles that were showing up here. That bedroom was about 1.5 miles in that direction over there. And so I want to thank my mom for putting up with all the holes that I put in the wall as I constantly updated the bedroom set. And my dad was a firefighter about 1 mile that way at the fire station. And we lost him some years ago. But I want to thank my parents for their support. I want to thank my sister for begrudgingly letting her friends be members of my news team when I was a kid. But Mike brought it up. It was 36 years ago yesterday I decided I wanted to do this. And that was about 1.5 miles that way. I was at Catechism, walking out at 5:04, and the earthquake happened. And that was the day I went home. We wanted to know what happened. So many of the faces in this room covered that earthquake. And I decided that this was the industry I wanted to be a part of. And I feel very fortunate because this is the career I always wanted. And so many people in this room taught me because I've always considered myself a student of this business. And there are so many people in this room who I learned from. I mean, Jodi, your condit interview. I watched that thing over and over and over again and watched a masterful interview. I learned from David Louie, who may not remember that we met because it was more than 3 decades ago with him and Kathy Cavey at Ceremony Ball on a Share Your Christmas Food Drive, and you put up with a kid coming up to you asking these annoying questions. But I learned from you, and I remembered it. In Reno, Terri Russell, Josh, Justin, we worked across town from each other, but I watched your stories every day as I was competing against you and learned what you guys did and what I could have done better. And I'm incredibly thankful. Watching Channel 7 growing up, hearing South Bay Bureau Chief Rigo Chacon. Watched you all the time. I learned from all of you as I watched. And it's incredible that I've made it this far, but I want to thank all of you. And so many people did mentor me along the way. Cheryl Jennings, who picked up the phone, gave me her number, and said, check in with me. Kim Mesa-Rose, who was a consumer producer at KGO so many years ago. Tom Bakar, who created 7 on Your Side, and I ended up doing a Call Kurtis type of thing in Sacramento. I mean, all these people who are mentors, who may or may not have known that they were mentors. So I look up to all of you. I can't believe that I've been in this business this many years, but I feel so fortunate that this is the business I'm in. I want to thank Jim Lemon, who's in here, who is the news director who hired me at KOVR, this person who was described in the newspaper as a baby-faced broadcaster who was hired by KOVR 13, where I spent many, many years. So thank you, Jim. And, you know, our business is in decline. And I, about 10 months ago, arrived at KCRA, where I could not be happier. And it is, as this business is declining, KCRA and Hearst and Ariel and Derek are still the North Star of journalism. And I am so proud to be part of that team. And so I thank you. So thank you very much. Congratulations to all the other inductees.
Our next Silver Circle inductee is Scott Arthur, and our presenter is Rigo Chacon, a retired, legendary ABC7 News reporter, as we know. No question, this man has a way with words. From his early days living in Mexico as a child to his move to El Paso, Texas, as an 8-year-old boy to his college days at San Jose State, he's universally respected and loved in the South Bay and across the Bay Area. Rigo began his career at KNTV, where he received an Emmy Award, which opened the door to a job at KGO-TV. And of course, the rest is history. He received the prestigious Governor's Award in 2003 and was inducted into the Silver Circle back in 1997. He was also the first Latino TV reporter in the South Bay. Rigo, take it away.
Thank you, David. Thank you, everybody. The reason I have a slow gait today and took a minute to get to the podium is because I had major back surgery a while ago, and I still have my walker. I'm sure some people think I have the walker because I'm old, not because I'm injured. I've met a lot of people today whom I did not know, but I'm so proud to be amongst you. My name is Rigo Chacon. If you speak Spanish, it's Rigo Chacon. I'm one of these guys who came from Mexico to take somebody's job. In a few minutes, you'll hear from Scott Arthur, who is one of the greatest camera folks to ever put a camera on his shoulder. After 2 years at KNTV, Scott came to ABC7 40 years ago. I have the good fortune to have worked with Scott more than any other reporter at Channel 7. So you can imagine how much I learned from such a professional. As you know, many of you know, a reporter has peace of mind when you know that the person working with you is as interested in having a successful assignment, a successful package as you do. So you don't worry about it when you have Scott Arthur next to you. One of the greatest statements that drives home the point that Scott is a gentle giant among us. His excellent work is not known only by those of us who worked with him, but it is an award that was engineered by fellow cameraman Scott. Mike Clark approached me a few months ago and said we need to get Scott into the Silver Circle. These are men and women who never worked with Scott side by side, but they know his reputation, they know his work, they know his sense of decency and truth in journalism. Scott is not only reliable, but knowledgeable, and he is proud of his work. One of the reasons I brought notes up here is because I know that I get emotional, so I'm trying to fight that, but I'm not succeeding. Scott and I covered several stories in Mexico City, and I think that one of the reasons Scott was the first cameraman to raise his hand for the assignment was because of Mexico City's great restaurants. Mexico City is an exciting place to work. However, the assignments are very, very difficult. It is the largest city in the hemisphere, and sometimes for a package, you might have been charged with the task of going to a different part of the city for a different part of the package. I remember one package where we went to 4 locations. This is in a city that has tremendous traffic problems. The size of the city is overwhelming. But starting at 3 a.m. one morning, we finished the story at 8 p.m. And Scott was tireless during that assignment, the child doctor story, Scott. The South Bay is also an exciting place to work in. Back when I opened the Bureau in 1974, there were a few articles in the Mercury News and other newspapers about the fact that we were kind of excluded from the main engine of KGO, that it was kind of punishment to be out in the South Bay. But in working there over the years, I've seen it go from blossoms in thousands and thousands of acres. Those blossoms were to be followed by fruit that helped feed the world. Scott is very well aware of that history, and the South Bay is also unique because it has high respect for the people who used to own the land before we did. The Ohlone Indians farmed on the banks of the Guadalupe. They eventually went away, but there are still descendants of the Ohlones in San Jose and beyond, and they are today's sentinels to protect their heritage and their history. We hustle along with them to get to a location where a construction site has just uncovered a holy place for the Ohlones. Scott knows that history. San Jose was at one time known as the Valley of Heart's Delight, and that was because of the blossoms. Then it became high-tech, the high-tech engine of the world. Scott is probably the best to cover a high-tech story. We never missed a deadline. Several times I would hear the director saying, "Rigo, you're up in 30," and I didn't see a camera on the tripod. But not to worry, that camera will be there. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to introduce to you my good friend, Scott.
Hi, Scott. It was a real pleasure working with you through the years. Nobody covers the South Bay as well as you do, and your body of work speaks for itself.
At 3:20 a.m., the large earthquake rolled through, knocking out electricity. Glass was broken and doors knocked off hinges.
The destructive force of the tsunami surges is like a movie in slow motion on replay.
Flames ripped through the tinder-dry brush on Mount Diablo. DC-10s dropped flame retardant ahead of them from the sky. In this case, also right over an ABC7 news crew.
Almost all of the businesses shut down. The wharf closed to the public, who came down in droves to see the damages.
Pope John Paul II stood here, where a statue now stands in his honor.
No one knows exactly how many children were fathered by American GIs in Vietnam, but estimates run as high as 50,000.
The sound of hoofbeats of the horses pulling Princess Diana's coffin transfixed all eyes, and for the moment as it passed, nothing else existed.
Perhaps the most important lesson learned here in Hong Kong is that fast action, aggressive action, is what is needed. And that's a lesson that the rest of the world will have to remember.
Scott Arthur, congratulations on the Silver Circle. It's great to be inducted in the same class as you. I want to thank you for all you contribute to ABC 7 News on a daily basis, not just as a photographer, but also editorially. You are always making contributions, making sure we are covering what's important to San Jose and all of the South Bay.
Your mentorship, your friendship, your guidance, your encouragement, all of that has absolutely made a difference in Bay Area storytelling.
Everything runs here in the South Bay because of you.
You are our leader in the South Bay, but you're also our dear, dear friend.
There's no more dedicated, passionate journalist that I've been around than Scotty.
I think you do an amazing job at capturing meaningful moments in our stories, and I'm so lucky to work with you.
Congratulations, Scott, on this amazing recognition.
Wow, make me emotional. Sometimes you forget the magnitude of our business, the things that we get to see, the places we get to travel. I was just talking to my other cameraman friend. I mean, it's just an amazing, the events that we've covered. I just want to thank everybody for getting me to this position up here, especially David Louie and Rigo and Tracey and everyone at KGO. I've been so proud to work at KGO, and it's been a very special experience working in the South Bay, in Silicon Valley, covering all that industry down there, from the rise of the internet, to the PC, to the internet, to now the giant, companies that we're at, that David and I covered. I also want to shout out to my new family, Evan, my godson, and the dads, and Ronan, their son, that are here. I'm really happy that they're here. So. Again, thank you, everybody. I think that's all I can say right now, because I'm kind of overwhelmed. All right, thanks.
Our next Silver Circle inductee is Larry Beil. The presenter is Dan Ashley. Not much of an introduction necessary for Dan. He's a familiar face on Bay Area TV, and we're fortunate to have someone like him in our industry who maintains that a reporter's life is pure joy. Now, Dan has said that he's so grateful to have found a profession that he deeply cares about, and it sure seems like KGO has become his second home, where he's been for the past 40 years. Dan, introduction, please.
Wait, who is? In the Silver Circle, Larry Beil. Really? Gosh, the standards really have slipped in our business. He doesn't even have any silver circling his head. I mean, he does, but it's underneath that just for men situation. I shouldn't talk. I was there once, too. But at this point, I figured, hey, I've earned all of the silver that got me into that circle a few years ago, about 10 years ago. Well, good for him. And I mean really good for him. This is a richly deserved honor for a dear colleague and a very close friend. We love to pick on Larry on the air and off, but the reality is we all care a great deal about him. He and I hit it off the day he arrived at ABC 7 about 25 years ago. What a Hall of Fame career he has built in broadcast sports. Starting in his home state of Hawaii, Larry made it to the mainland in the late 80s to cover sports for KTVU. That's one of the other stations. 5 years later, he got the call for the show, ESPN, where he hosted SportsCenter alongside Robin Roberts, Keith Olbermann, and Dan Patrick, among many others. But the lure of the West Coast once again called, and after 6 years on national television, we were lucky enough to hire Larry to handle sports for us. A few years ago, Larry took on another responsibility besides sports director as a news anchor on our 4 o'clock broadcast. Larry can do and has done it all in this business. The consummate pro who has spent more than 40 years in broadcasting. I can say, as Larry would, with authority, no one I know that is more deserving to be inducted into our Silver Circle. So, Larry, I am honored to welcome you into the distinguished group of broadcasters, recognition of your achievements and your contribution, really, to our industry, this industry that we all treasure so very much. Congratulations, my dear friend. And now, let's show a little more Silva.
Do you not see the gray hair? There's plenty of gray hair. My kids are killing me all the time. Dan, it's not hair color that concerns me. It's hair existence that worries me, because this used to be out here. But isn't this cool? This feels just like our newscast, right? This is. I'm so happy. Thank you so much. Now, that was very sweet. It was lovely. But I think that maybe there's another introduction that might be a little bit more appropriate.
All world from the University of Hawaii, the titan of the keyboard, his highness of the highlight, Larry Beil.
Truth be told, I did ask A's owner John Fisher to be my presenter. I don't understand why I have not heard back from him.
John, you're a serial penny pincher. You've destroyed your family's great name and legacy because of your cheapness.
Yeah, that must have been it. I'm sorry I could not be with you in person today, but I have events in Hawaii scheduled. They were scheduled months ago. So as you are watching this right now, I could be here, or maybe here, or maybe here.
And Coco Head.
In any case, it's a great honor to be in the Silver Circle, joining so many of my ABC7 colleagues. Dan Ashley, for one. Spencer Christian, by the way, is a gold member. Well, 50 years. Gold member. Leanne Melendez, Kathy Cavey, Jim Huntington, Paula Marqueski, Leslie Brinkley, Scott Arthur, and another new member, ABC7 News Director Tracey Watkowski, who has tolerated all of us for so many years. She deserves a separate award just for that. Now, I remember way back when I was literally, this is totally true, I was scraping ice off my windshield in Bristol, Connecticut, home of ESPN, thinking, I have got to get back to California before I freeze to death. And it worked out. In the past 25 years, I've been fortunate enough to cover some of the greatest athletes in sports history. I mean, Steph Curry, best shooter ever, most humble superstar I have ever met. Covering the Splash Brothers was so much fun, especially when I got to remind Klay Thompson about one specific moment.
This is at a clinic that Steph and Klay put on every year, and this was a couple years ago. Well, you know, if you scored before, it's not a surprise. When you score, Klay was stunned. In any case, I don't get invited to the clinic anymore. Wonder why?
Sorry, Klay. Not sorry! Steve Young actually taught me the proper way to throw a football in his backyard. Snap that wrist. Unfortunately, that was about 20 years after I needed that information, Steve. Barry Bonds, a bit more challenging, shall we say, but we actually had some very funny moments together. They just didn't seem that funny at the time. You know, I'm never going to forget standing on the court, baseline, right after the Warriors won the NBA championship. This is back in 2017. The confetti is coming down all over the place. To my left, the great Jerry West. To my right, rappers E40 and Snoop Dogg. And I remember thinking, one of us does not belong in this row. But I'm feeling pretty comfortable with you in this row of Silver Circle members. Thank you so much for thinking of me. And Tracey, I promise I'm going to try to get down to the studio earlier before I start the newscast. Like 1 minute earlier. Let's not get crazy.
Congratulations, Larry. By the way, we got a special message from the news gods, and they said, let's keep our acceptance speeches to 2 minutes. So a reminder to everyone, 2 minutes, please. And we've got somebody in the back of the room who's going to count you down if you don't follow that 2 minutes. All right? Thanks. Our next Silver Circle inductee is Terri Russell. Presenter is Matt Vaughn. Matt Vaughn is news director of KOLO 8 News Now, where inductee Terri Russell works. And that's, of course, an ABC affiliate. That means that he helps oversee social media and web content, as well as the evening newscast. He also oversees the work of Terri Russell, the station's lead reporter. Matt?
Terri Russell is the epitome of Nevada journalism. She embodies grit and determination and brings a high level of professionalism to every story she does. Her pursuit of the truth, coupled with her compassion for all Nevadans, is why her stories resonate with the community. Not only is Terri an accomplished journalist, garnering multiple Emmy Awards, a Murrow, and recognition from the Associated Press, but she's also just a good human. While she brings a no-nonsense attitude to her approach, she has a big heart and is all about fairness for all. Terri's years of experience have allowed her the opportunity to pass on her knowledge to the next generation of journalists, helping them reach new heights and move on to major markets. Terri Russell is more than deserving of this honor from the National Academy of Television Arts and Sciences, and all of us here at KOLO want to congratulate her on this tremendous accomplishment.
Hey boys! Hey boys, where are you?
The only thing Terri Russell values as much as her family and friends is her animals.
This is Bo, and this is Wings. You may go.
They are family. This is her bloodhound Trip, who she adopted 4 years ago. Her animals keep her grounded, and with her work, she needs it.
Oh, he just crashed!
Let's go, Terri. Let's go.
Somebody is sitting back in the shadows, a predator seeking out prey.
It's 11:30. We're here in Phoenix at Sky Harbor Airport. They're picking up the blood right now. The pilot, Caitlin Schimmel, pick me up.
All set? No.
This year, her investigative reports on the Verdi TV district led to a new Nevada law requiring general improvement districts in Nevada be more transparent with constituents.
This is an incredible honor. It reflects both on your decades of experience as a reporter and your deep commitment to exceptional journalism and telling the stories that matter most to Northern Nevada, I know.
It's my intention that you die in prison.
She covers courts and has helped ensure cameras remain in the courtrooms here in Washoe County, even testifying in front of the Nevada Supreme Court as justices tried to update their courtroom standards.
Terri really was able to understand the court system, understand the cases, know when to push, when not to push, and she always got a great story because of that smooth style.
There are a lot of toys here in our studio.
5 years ago, she pushed the restart button at KOLO. The station re-engaged in the annual Toys for Tots program. KOLO has consistently become the #1 toy donation site in the region year after year. Terri also likes to put the spotlight on programs which can benefit the community, but which are not well known, like the Reno Gleaning Project.
Even once we had been doing it for 9 years before we became a 501c3 nonprofit, it still wasn't catching on like we'd hoped. And so Terri's help really launched us into the stratosphere. I wasn't gonna cry, I wasn't gonna get emotional, but what she does is meaningful to this community.
A program close to her heart, the Wild Horse and Burro Adoption Program in Carson City. 13 years ago, she met inmate Nathan Wilson as he trained Hollywood for the U.S. Border Patrol. She would find Nathan a scholarship to Farrier School upon his release.
It takes so much heat to do much.
Today, he has his own business and supports 3 children.
Without her, I would have probably, who knows where I would have went instead of going to that school, So I owe a lot to her for sure.
Ladies and gentlemen, Terri Russell.
I swore to Joyce, I said, 5 minutes. I said, I'm going to do 5 minutes. So I'm going to do 1 minute. Start timing me. I want to thank the members of the Silver Circle for inviting me into the great tradition of the Silver Circle. I want to thank my family and friends and colleagues for showing up. They've always been super supportive of what I've done, and their presence here really, really reflects that. As many of them people have said here today, we're in the minority statistically. We love our jobs. Who doesn't? I get a front row seat to history. I get every day is different, and no 2 days are alike. If someone were to ask me, the students that were honored earlier today, how do you be successful in this career? I don't know, because I don't know where this industry is going, much less the First Amendment. But what I would say is that if you want to do this job and be happy and successful, you have to be a very, very good listener. And I hope to come back here and join Pamela Young in the Golden Circle in a couple of years from now. Thank you very much. It's such an honor.
Our next Silver Circle inductee is Justin Kanno. The presenter is Gina Mangieri, and it's not actually Dr. Gina Mangieri. She has a doctorate in education and is the investigative reporter and anchor at Hawaii's KHON2 station. She has been reporting there for more than 2 decades. Gina credits her career to the hard work of her mother, who was an investigative reporter for a New York newspaper.
Greetings and aloha from Honolulu. I'm Gina Mangieri with KHON2 News. I am so thrilled to be able to introduce my colleague and my friend, longtime photographer Justin Kanno. Justin and I have been a news team for almost 20 years. We've been on many adventures together, all over the islands and across the country. Justin's knowledge and experience and his ability to always make our deadlines is something that I know everyone here at KHON appreciates. Not only is Justin a respected journalist, but in his free time, he does whatever he can to give back to the community he serves. Justin is truly deserving of the Silver Circle.
Being a news photographer has to be one of the best jobs in the world. For over 30 years, I've had a press pass to history. Every day brings the opportunity to see new things and meet new people. I've been blessed to have gone all over the world, wherever the story takes me. I haven't covered news just on land.
Just don't look down!
I've soared through the air and even done stories under the sea.
I'm caught in this rip current right now and you can really feel it pulling you out to sea.
My television journey started in the 90s in high school, and in college I received the Shelley Faye Videography Scholarship. That same year I interned at KHON, which eventually led to freelance work. I've been lucky enough to interview presidents and celebrities, got to go to the Salt Lake City Olympics, and I also covered stories that shaped our world. When I was with KOLO in Reno, a few days after 9/11, I flew with the Air National Guard on a mission to deliver blood to several states. During Operation Iraqi Freedom, I spent time in Kuwait and Iraq with the troops, even making it to Saddam Hussein's palace in Baghdad.
At Anaconda, we're only 50 miles from Baghdad, but getting there requires patience and luck. We lift off from Anaconda, and soon we're speeding over the countryside, 100 feet off the deck, heading south. You can't help but reflect that just yesterday, 3 mortar shells were launched at the base from these very fields. There are some people below determined to force the U.S. out of Iraq.
I was also with the troops in New Orleans in the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina.
The sight of torn buildings and downed trees is less startling than the emptiness of it all.
I've now spent almost 20 years in my home state of Hawaii with KHON, which coincidentally is the station I grew up watching. Hawaii is a tropical paradise, but we have volcanoes, and I've seen the raw power of nature on many occasions.
Let Madame Pele take over. Take a look. Justin Kanno is going to go ahead and zoom in at those towering fountains at the top at Fissure 3, sending that lava straight down the mountain.
More recently, I was on the ground when fire destroyed the town of Lahaina on Maui. I was one of the first news crews to go in and see the devastation.
You know, Lahaina was once the capital of the Hawaiian Kingdom back in the 1800s, and now, look at this.
It's been quite a journey, and I can definitely say I've had an exciting career. And I look forward to all the stories yet to come.
Good afternoon and aloha. It's kind of weird being a photographer being up here. I'm normally in the back with the camera, so I'll make this quick. It's crazy to think in the 90s winning the Shelley Faye Scholarship, and now here I am being inducted into the Silver Circle. Just feel blessed to have been able to work in 3 of the markets within chapter, San Francisco, Reno, Hawaii. It's actually a mini reunion with a lot of my former colleagues in Reno and Hawaii, so this has been a great time to see everybody. I'd like to thank Pamela Young for nominating me. Unfortunately, she couldn't make it up here today, but thank her, thank Natus for this great honor. Congratulations to our scholarship recipients and to all the other inductees. I'd like to thank my mom. My dad's not with us anymore, but he's with us in spirit. They always supported me through all my career goals to become a photographer, and thank you all so much. Aloha.
Our Our next Silver Circle inductee is Dale Yurong. The presenter is Michael Carr. Now, Mike is the president and general manager of KCRA, ABC 13 in Houston, but he is Fresno raised and educated. His TV career started at ABC 30 in Fresno as an intern. He rose to news director and then general manager, and then about over a year ago, then became general manager of the ABC-owned station in Houston, KTRK. And he flew in here specifically to introduce Dale. Mike?
DY. Dale Yurong is going into the Silver Circle. Stockton, California's Dale Yurong. University of Pacific's very own Dale Yurong. KFSN's Dale Yurong. I met Dale in the summer of 1996 when I was a sports intern at KFSN. At the time, Dale was the weekend sports anchor. 3 years later, I was weekend producer. Dale was my sports guy. Dale can do and has done it all. Reporting, weekends, sports, morning anchor, reporting, evening anchor. Did I mention reporting? How about hosting a news show dedicated to the Central Valley's multi-billion-dollar ag industry? How about maybe starting a new weekly food segment? Don't sleep on the Central Valley's foodie scene. Just as we were emerging from the pandemic, Dale has always been the right person for every assignment. That's because throughout his career, for Dale, it has always been about telling the best story. It doesn't matter the subject, day turn, HFR, long form, short form. Dale understands he works in television, a visual medium, pictures, sound, and maybe most importantly, words. Dale's writing is the kind you always remember. He writes to every frame of video. He knows just the right verbs, he understands tone, he knows when to explain in depth, when to keep his words short, and when to get out of the way altogether. In 2017, Dale earned a Murrow for excellence in writing. You will hear this at just about every single ABC 30 editorial meeting. Oh, that would be a great Dale story. But what do you do when after every single assignment someone says, that would be a great Dale story? Or better yet, when the reporter pitching the story says, I gotta be honest, this would be a better Dale story. Honestly, it's a great problem to have when you have Dale. During COVID, while anchoring from home, Dale made his own shoulder boxes with a flat screen behind him in his spare bedroom. He created an image bank on his laptop, and when he read about a fire, you saw a fire. He told a health story, you see a doctor and a nurse. Innovative, yes, but that's not why he did it. He did it to tell the best story. This week, Dale was a guest on Action News Live at 3, talking about his induction into this prestigious Silver Circle. He was asked, Dale, so many stories, which one is your favorite? He said he can't choose just one, so I'm going to choose for him. In the 2000s, Dale profiled an almond grower named Marvin Myers, a generous and unassuming almond grower in western Fresno County. Marvin created the state's first private aquifer under his farm so he could bank water for his family, fellow farmers, and local wildlife to use in drought years. Months after the story aired, Marvin told Dale, hey, I'm going to Sacramento to receive an award from the governor for being a great steward of the land. No one would have known about my water bank without your story. Dale is extremely proud of his Filipino heritage. He was one of the first Filipino-American news anchors in the country. And in 2016, Dale told the often overlooked story of the late Lariat Leong, the Filipino-American leader who spearheaded the farm labor movement along with Cesar Chavez. And probably my favorite, in 1996, Dale interviewed the late, great Kobe Bryant when he was 18 years old, making his debut for the Lakers at a preseason game in, where, of course, Fresno. Dale was always asked the question, could you tell Kobe was going to be one of the best to ever do it? Dale's answer, I've heard it, he says, I wasn't even sure Kobe was going to make the team. But maybe a better question, did Kobe know he was being interviewed by one of the best to ever do it. Congratulations, Dale.
Action News Live at 6:30. Dale Yurong, taking action together. This is ABC 30 Action News.
Good evening from Washington, D.C. The presidential election reveals a deepening divide in our country.
Today, we should be honoring Dale Yurong because he is somebody who has poured his heart and soul into this community and has gone above and beyond just anchoring, but being an incredible reporter.
Good morning. It is Friday, January 11th. I'm Dale Yurong. Thank you for joining us for Action News AM Live. Thanks for joining us for Action News Live at 6:30. Hi, I'm Dale Yurong. Welcome to Valley Grown. Breaking news for you this morning. We have reports of a plane crashing into the World Trade Center in New York. Let's go live now to Good Morning America. You go from a successful stand-up to a bona fide TV star.
Yeah.
How does that change?
That's pretty
lives?
amazing, man.
We are here to say congratulations to our friend and our colleague, Dale Yurong, who is celebrating his 40th year anniversary.
Dale Yurong is standing by in the Action Newsroom with details. Dale?
John, 10 years of answering questions regarding earthquake safety and errors in design have ended for Diablo Canyon officials. Remember Byron Scott on this team when you were a kid?
Man, I was little and I used to watch Byron Scott run up and down, dunking on people and shooting the pull-up jump shot. I always tease him about it, too.
Diane, you talked to all of the stars. The stars say the right thing. It's an honor to be nominated for an Oscar. But when you talk to them, do you sense a nervousness among the stars about how things will turn out?
Nervousness, superstition, everybody's got a different approach.
He is an icon and a role model for the Asian community, Asian American community here too. People love you, Dale, and they really do look up to you and appreciate all you've done.
The backlash to the anti-Asian immigrant experience was Asians are coming together.
There are a few guys who need to learn how to conduct themselves better off the court.
Let us continue. There's more on the menu. Brian Serra turns 75 years old in December. He knows every inch, every rock of this river.
I tell the young reporters now to watch and read Dale's stories.
Wow.
100%. Because you're the GOAT, and that your stories show them how it's done.
Turn this down because Big Mike was up here. Hey, thank you so much, everybody. I mean, we're always taught to give your stories a strong ending, right? But all of you were focused on the wrong person in that last photo there, because all due respect to Bob Iger, no way do I last 42 years at ABC 30 without my beautiful wife, Liberty. Wave, honey. Without her love and support, I couldn't do it. I mean, she keeps me in a good frame of mind, so love you, honey. Mahal kita. Thank you, Big Mike, for coming all the way from Houston, Texas. I appreciate you, sir. Yes, I'm so old, Mike interned with me when I was a sportscaster. Martin Ortiz, our general manager, thank you for being here, Martin. Thank you for making sure my family was here to join in the celebration. Martin was also an intern at ABC 30, so you see, not only do we grow your food in the Central Valley, we grow our own leaders at Action News. Thank you, Janice Jin, for coming from Hawaii. Thank you, mahalo, for your support on my Silver Circle journey. Janice actually grew up with my sister, Hetty, in Stockton. And my sister, when I was in elementary school, would always look at my assignments, and one day she said, "Your stories are really good. You should be a writer when you grow up." So, Hetty, thank you for planting the seed there. I am, like some of you here, are from an era where you got into the newsroom and you were greeted by that constant clatter of typewriters and cigarette smoke. Back then, a lot of people tended to communicate by cussing, and women were among the worst offenders. Let me tell you that. Your shop was like that too? Yeah, I know. The industry has changed so much over the years. We've changed alongside of it. We have to, because If we don't reinvent ourselves, we become irrelevant. Nobody wants that. Congratulations to our scholarship winners. Understand you hold the key to this incredible industry, but no pressure there. I look at that Silver Circle list, man, I see names like Stan Atkinson, Dick Cable. Those were the anchors I watched growing up in Stockton. I see Bay Area legends like my friend David Louie. I joined on the circle, in the circle, my former Action News colleagues, Angelo Stalis, Nancy Osborne, Liz Harrison. So now to enter the circle, it's really cool. I'm very proud to stand before you today. It's been a long run, fam. 42 years at ABC 30, 5 years in radio. I've been talking the talk, walking the walk, in my stand-ups, of course, for a long, long time. But it's been a wonderful journey, and I know the business continues to change. We change right alongside of it, and we have to. But I do know this, the work we do as journalists, the work we do collectively, it matters, and our viewers depend on us. They depend on us to help provide some clarity to their everyday lives, and above all else, they need us to continue our relentless pursuit of the truth. God bless you all. Thank you so much.
Just think, Dale, 8 more years and you can be eligible for the Gold Circle and Disney's Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs bronze medal. Our next Silver Circle inductee is Randy Forsman. Presenter is Jim Stimson, former assistant news director at KCRA. Now, everyone says that Jim has a nose for news, and colleagues say he's darn good at finding it. With over 50 years of experience working at KCRA, Jim was recently inducted into the Gold Circle, and now he attends our ceremony to induct a director who's committed to turning excellent newscasts and specials. Jim?
Thank you very much, David, and thanks everyone for being here today. Just really quickly, I want to echo something that Dale just said. Congratulations to all of our nominees, or all our inductees rather, especially the guys over at table 12 there and the guys over at our table, the scholarship winners. You guys really are going to be the future of our industry. I think any of us who've spent much time in this business, and by the nature of this gathering, that's pretty much everybody in this room, will understand what I'm about to describe here. For anchors, it might be the producer who was that calm, trusted voice in your ear during breaking news. For reporters, it might be that photographer like Justin and Scott. The photographer in the field who always understood what you needed, always delivered, no matter the obstacles, no matter the deadline. For me, so many times in so many situations, it was someone you're about to meet here. I'm talking about the people you knew that you wanted beside you. When it mattered most, when the stakes were high, when you knew you had just one chance to get it right. With Randy Forsman is one of the people I always had confidence in. I always felt confident looking across the control room or a crowded production truck and seeing Randy in the director's chair and knowing whatever happened, he was going to be great. So watch and listen now, and I think you'll understand why.
Opens up, here we go. Tapes 9, 10, 11, 202 shots, turning to 1 key. Stand by 9. Stand by their mics.
Now, coverage you can count on.
Roll 9.
This is
Mic them both. Dissolve. Cue.
From News Channel
Stand by
5,
7.
where the news comes first. This is First at 5.
Rolling 7. Mic cue.
Bisbee Sound, stand by camera 1 with her mic, stand by to roll 71. And start your move, roll 71, mic effect.
Guilty, that's the plea today.
All the way in
Philip
here,
and
ready
Nancy
camera
Burrito,
3.
Now admit they kidnapped and raped J.C. Dugard.
And the Emmy, it goes to Forsman Composite, KCRA 3, Randy Forsman, director.
I just want to say this is unreal. The director's only as good as his crew, and this goes out to all my crew.
Tonight, a KCRA 3 special presentation, Bully.
Good evening. Tonight we are sounding the alarm on bullying.
1 in 5 students admits to being bullied or doing some type of bullying, and it's not a one-size-fits-all thing.
And we'll not only talk about the victims of bullying, but being a bully and being a bully bystander.
And that's why tonight we are joined by students from all over Northern California, and they are going to be sharing some firsthand accounts of bullying.
Live from the University of the Pacific in Stockton. This is the United States Senate debate.
Okay, stand by, camera 8.
Tonight's debate is presented by the San Francisco Chronicle, by the University of the Pacific, and by KCRA.
Okay, stand by your move on 8. Here we go. Hold for a beat, hold, dissolve. Start your move 8. Preset 4. Stand by, Golston.
University Center
And
on the UOP campus.
Mike Golston,
Here is
dissolve.
KCRA 3's
Push in on 4.
Randy has stood out as a fair, well-spoken, calm, and often modest manager. Maybe it's because all those newscasts you've directed over at KCRA. Just a thought.
This is now my 11th in the director category. I enter every year to keep the category alive because I just love live directing. And I want to encourage every live director out there to just put your best work forward. You too are capable of getting this. And thank you. Big thank you to KCRA, Derek, Claire, everyone who continuing to believe in me for the last 18 years. It's been an honor. Thank you. I'm someone who's always in the control room, so I'm not used to being up and talking in front of people, even though I was chapter president for 2 years during COVID. Not somewhere I ever expected to be, standing here on stage in front of everybody, so many talented people in this room. I got my start in high school. Literally took a film and TV production class because it was an easy elective and it wasn't art. I had friends doing it, so I figured, I've got a theater tech background, I can handle this. My high school teacher, Robert Garcia, is the one who got me an internship at KCOI in Santa Maria. It was supposed to be about 6 weeks. I lasted about 6 months. On my last day of my internship, I turned around, asked my boss, "Can I have a job?" He said, "Yeah, come back tomorrow." And that was 28 years ago, almost to the day that I started that internship. I spent time in Salinas, spent time in upstate New York in Plattsburgh at her station there. But in 2007, I came to KCRA. And that's when I kind of got my eyes open to the greater world of broadcasting. To me, it was a job. It was just something that I did to pass the time, but that's when I truly understood my calling. It was thanks to Jim Simpson to really kind of show me that I had a bigger part to play in broadcasting and news. In 2015, I joined the Bananas board. Honestly, half to impress a girl I was dating, who is now my wife, Amanda. Spent time as a trustee, spent time as chapter president, so it's an honor to be standing in front of all you amazingly talented people across the industry. So I just want to say thank you.
Our final Silver Circle inductee is Tracey Watkowski Silva. Presenter is Jim Huntington, ABC 7 News assignment manager. Just a year ago, James was in this very same room being inducted into the Silver Circle, but he's here now to introduce Tracey, who is Vice President of News at ABC 7. Jim has been at the station since 2002. Before that, he was in Los Angeles as a news producer at KCAL and KABC and managing editor at KNBC. He's been on TV for a long time, since 1977. James?
Thank you, everybody. It's nice to be here, and it's good to see everybody in the business. It's a wonderful day. And so I'm Jim, and I'm the assignment manager at ABC 7, and I'm very honored to introduce Tracey into the Silver Circle. Tracey and I have worked together for 22 years. As the news director, she's in charge of everything in today's modern newsroom. She stays on top of all of our linear, digital, and streaming platform. She protects her employees in the field with security. She heads our helicopter share agreement with PIX and KNTV. and she handles everything else under the sun and the moon 24/7. Tracey Watkowski Silva has a tremendous work ethic and excellent news judgment. She breaks as many stories in the Channel 7 newsroom as anyone else. Well, and I've learned that because she often comes briskly out of her office, phone in hand, heading straight to the assignment desk, and I know what that means. Like, do we know this? Do you know this? And when she's doing that, I better be prepared to kick butt and take names, and it's a lot of fun. So I've seen her take charge in the biggest, saddest, and most memorable news stories since she became news director at the Circle 7 13 years ago. She also balances and juggles her work life and her home life with great aplomb. That's the word I can use. I know how proud she is of her family. Her husband and her son are here today with her, rooting her on. Tracey is a proud Michigan native, avid Detroit sports fan, bleeds Syracuse orange, and plays a huge role in mentoring Syracuse University journalism students. So it's my pleasure to introduce you to Tracey Watkowski Silva.
Okay, everybody, 9:15 a.m. Let's get this morning meeting started. What is everyone working on today?
Well, I think the biggest story of the day has to be Tracey being inducted into the Silver Circle.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that is unbelievably huge.
Yeah, guys, I think we need to cover what an innovative leader she is.
It's got to include what a great writer she is.
Oh, yeah, and how much we've learned from her.
And what a great advocate she is for Syracuse University. Go Orange!
I've got a lot of great community contacts for all this.
I want this to lead the 4.
I want it for the 5, too.
Well, it has to be in the 6 for sure.
I think this story is actually way bigger than just KGO.
From coast to coast, people are celebrating ABC's own Tracey Watkowski, and for good reason. Let's hear more about Tracey's commitment to journalism.
Tracey, hello from Chicago. Congratulations on your induction into the Silver Circle.
You continue to be an inspiration in the newsroom, and especially for women leaders like me.
Your commitment to building a better Bay Area is just one of several reasons you are so deserving.
I always appreciate Tracey's great news judgment.
I have looked up to you and respected you for so long. You are a marvelous, marvelous human being.
Thank you for everything you've done to support my career and countless others.
You've always been such a great partner to us here at KBC. Thank you and congratulations.
My question to you has always been, when do you sleep?
Tracey's always shown that she's on our side by helping to elevate 7 on your side.
And you represent the very best in journalism.
She is one of the warmest and loveliest people that I've ever worked for.
Not only are you a newsroom leader, you are a friend.
To the most kind, intelligent, and calm news director anyone has ever had.
Congratulations, Tracey. Your commitment to journalism, to covering news in the Bay Area, and your commitment to the station is remarkable.
Tracey's in the Silver Circle. This definitely needs a promo.
Congratulations, Tracey. So well deserved. And let's not forget Larry Beil and Scott Arthur, also from ABC 7, and Dale Yurong from ABC 30 in Fresno. To you and all the news professionals being honored today, from all of us here at ABC News in New York, we thank you. Hats off.
Hello. Thank you, Jim. I woke up to a text from Jim saying, "You're the Shohei Ohtani of news directors." I was like, oh, that's a little bit of pressure, especially because we're Giants fans. So, thank you to Jim, Paula for editing that video, Paula Markowski. She couldn't be here today. She's at a college reunion, so she says hello to everybody. Thanks to my ABC7 family. They're good actors there. The video was fun. They're the best. They're an amazing team, and I'm lucky to work with them. Okay, I've overwritten, and that's what I tell the reporters, don't overwrite, so I'm just gonna say a few things. Thanks to Natus for celebrating local news. I'm proud to be a part of it. The scholarship winners, Angela Nguyen is our KGO intern, and Jim found her, so we're very lucky about that. Thanks to my husband Jim and son Jacob. They're used to me phone in hand, on call 24/7. Thank you. And my best friend from home, Trenton, Michigan, and my college Syracuse roommate, Debbie Tirico, is here today. So I started working at KGO in 1999, but KGO caught my attention in 1989, just a few months after graduation. You may remember RT&DA used to publish this magazine, and this is a December 1989 issue that I have carried with me through probably 10 to 15 moves in my life, and I put my hands on it last weekend. So this is all about how KGO stayed on the air. It's an incredible article. So as someone said, I think Mike said, Loma Prieta was 36 years ago yesterday. So then 10 years later, here I was working at KGO with the greats. One more thing about this 1989 magazine. Across the top it says, RT&DA Research, more female news directors. Right on. Thank you. Thank you. There's a lot of female news directors in this market, so we stick together. So 10 years later, 1999, I was interviewing at KGO. I had worked at WKRC in Cincinnati, WCAU in Philadelphia, and I went to interview at KGO for assistant news director job. And it's kind of remarkable that I got the job because I met Wayne Friedman in the newsroom, and I said to him, "What do you do here?" So I thought, I got home, and then there was a broadcasting and cable magazine, and it was all about Wayne and his Emmys, and I thought, well, I've totally booted that interview. I'm not getting that job. But Wayne is a dear, dear friend. In my defense, the KGO website was under construction when I came out to interview, so it was hard to do research. This month marks 26 years with ABC, 5 of those years at KFSN. So I'm very proud to be part of the Fresno Mafia. It's a great station, and I didn't screw it up while I was there. I just want to give a shout out to everyone working in Bay Area media for the grit day in and day out, and my fellow news directors. I appreciate our collaboration on safety and security especially. It's tough to be out in the field. I appreciate our collaboration. We created a COVID coverage pool that still exists today, and I'm grateful for that. 1 month ago, KGO was weathering the storm of Jimmy Kimmel being taken off the air. And it was hard to navigate. It happened very fast. But we got flooded with emails, calls, and letters. Viewers upset. So it was reassuring to me that the people cared about the threat to freedom of speech, freedom of the press, and censorship. So I appreciate that. We're so grateful for our viewers, and like many other people have said, we got to stick with it. So thank you very much.
All right, we turn now to the Gold Circle. Our first Gold Circle inductee is Steve Swat. And the presenter is none other than Joyce Mitchell, former KCRA 11 p.m. news producer, former CBS 13 special projects producer, and owner-producer of For You Productions, TV Rebels with a Cause. Joyce and Steve met 50 years ago when Joyce was an intern and Steve was a reporter. Joyce went on to produce the 11 p.m. newscast for nearly 15 years at Channel 3. Today, she and Steve remain friends and colleagues. Joyce?
Steve Swat. All right, I'm done. Okay, that's the nature of our relationship. Let's talk about that time I came in and the Limburger cheese was in my desk drawer. Oh yeah, that lasted a while. I think it was there over the weekend or something. Then when I go to answer my telephone and there's Vaseline on the phone. Well, it was okay because I got him back and I put Vaseline on his typewriter keys back in the old days, and that's how we got along. We had fun in that newsroom and we worked hard. We worked so hard we had to laugh just to get through. It was otherwise we'd cry, or at least I would cry. There were a lot of tricks played on me, and they taught me how to fight with the good old boys. Because this was 1975, I think I was the second woman in the newsroom. Kathy Cavey, you were there. You came on later. I was in there. I was trying to hold my own. He was trouble, and yet he was a star in my book. He never, ever missed a deadline. He was the first to break his package down to a VOSOT to help me make it in the news, get it in the newscast. It was great. Steve now has, like so many people who have gone 25 plus and are now at 50, and he's at 50 plus, he's authored books. We have to do something more. We don't stop. He's authored 4 books. He is my library that I go to on a daily basis when I need to figure out what's going on in the world. I call Steve, and he gives me a breakdown and an understanding of what's happening politically. I was a Capitol correspondent before I went to KCRA, and we used to run into each other all the time at the state capitol. That was probably in 1972 to 75. Then I went to KCRA and broke into TV. He still is a historian. He keeps it moving for me. He keeps me on my toes. His wife, Susie, is just absolutely a joy to be with. I call her the good SWAT, but he's a good one too. I'd like to introduce to you my dear, wonderful friend of 50 years. Steve, congratulations. What an honor it is to have you here and to induct you into the Gold Circle for your 50 plus years. Let's take a look at your video.
As you'd expect, Republican delegates are reveling in Mrs. Ferraro's financial problems. The question comes up, what about the Electoral College? Tomorrow's nomination is the culmination of a 12-year quest.
Steve came to KCRA in 1969. It was his first job in television and his first position at Channel 3, producer of the 11 o'clock news.
And this is Channel 3 Reports.
It didn't take long for Steve to learn television and to find his niche at the state capitol. Steve covered a total of 4 governors during his career at Channel 3.
President Dewey told me not to take the polls too seriously.
There was Ronald Reagan, Jerry Brown.
I did it my way.
George Deukmejian.
And because of my insistence, it was put before the electorate.
Pete Wilson.
Look, there's a standing invitation to the speaker and to anybody else.
Steve has talked one-on-one with all of them many times, and with many national political figures along the way.
You contend that the 3-year tax cut was fair to the poor?
Yes, I do.
I think any kind of revenue enhancement has to be considered within the total context.
This is one of the rights that we have in a democracy, to protest.
Over the years, the clothing styles have changed. The hair's gotten a little grayer around the edges. But one thing hasn't changed: Steve's knowledge of the political process and his ability to convey the workings of government and politics to you at home.
He has been the constant window by which people who observe politics in California were able to see us, hear us on a most objective, rational, and sometimes acrid basis.
In the ensuing years, there was teaching at Sacramento State, political consulting, several books, but always the lure of television.
The municipal unions have always been great for Democrats. They provide money, they provide manpower during the elections.
Fascinating program.
Thank you.
Thank you. And thanks to our viewers for watching Comcast Newsmakers. I'm Steve Swat. We'll see you next time.
She just said, I hate you. First of all, I do want to thank Joyce and the entire Board of Governors for this honor. It really came as quite a surprise, and I appreciate it very much. And I also want to thank my wife, Susie, who met me as an undergraduate at UC Berkeley. And she's the one who had to put up with all those 3 a.m. phone calls when I was doing general assignment. And then after that, all the absences when I made one of my several trips, usually during election years throughout the country, chasing down politicians and trying to get their stories. So I appreciate that. What is interesting, I think, is that TV was never my first choice. And as a matter of fact, when I got out of school, my first 2 jobs where I got paid were print jobs, the San Francisco Examiner and then the United Press International in Los Angeles. And I covered a lot of breaking stories at UPI. It was great seeing my byline on newspapers throughout the country. But I really wanted to cover politics and government. And I figured I'd have to move to either Sacramento or Washington, D.C. to do that. And that's when I placed a phone call to someone who actually changed my life. And I wouldn't be here without him. His name was Ed Arno. Ed Arno was a longtime San Francisco TV reporter. Back in the 50s, the 60s, mid-60s and late 60s, he was working weekends at KGO, but during the week he was an associate professor at UC Berkeley in the Graduate School of Journalism. And we hit it off right away. I still didn't want to be a broadcaster, but we became friends. And when I went to Los Angeles, he said, look, if you ever want a job in broadcasting in Northern California, give me a call because I know a lot of people and I can set you up. Ed passed away a few years ago, 2019, at the age of 95, but I will always remember him for giving me my start in broadcasting because he placed a phone call to the executive producer at KCRA. I did my interview. They hired me even though I didn't know one end of a microphone from the other. And that turned into more than 50 years in broadcast journalism. And I figure that's about 5,000 on-air stories that I did for KCRA. And after that, I did about 2,500 Capitol-based public policy interviews for Time Warner and Comcast. And then there have been dozens and dozens of political analyses for TV stations from Sacramento to Miami. And I'm actually still doing it. So it's been a terrific career for me, very fulfilling. And I really owe it all to that one mentor at UC Berkeley who helped me find that first job at the right time. Thank you.
Our second Gold Circle inductee is Pamela Young. Now, if you're an OG, then you might know that Pamela was a reporter here in the Bay Area before moving to Hawaii decades ago. Now, few women, a mere handful, have made it to the full 50 years and have been honored by induction in the prestigious Gold Circle. It is a tough business, and for women starting out 50 years ago, it was far from easy. The last woman inducted into the Gold Circle was Belva Davis, 13 years ago. Pamela is now the 5th woman to go into the Gold Circle out of a total of 31 members. We lost Belva, as you noticed in our in memoriam section earlier this year, but it was Belva who gave Pamela her start, mentoring her early on and helping her to where she is today. Now, this is an acknowledgement of, having the acknowledgement of the passing of Belva Pamela's mentor, and Pamela's induction into the Gold Circle today makes this a full circle moment. As we know, life happens, and unfortunately, Pamela is unable to join us this afternoon. She is nursing a broken foot and was advised not to travel. This is history in the making. For about more than a career that has lasted so many years, here is Gary Sprinkle, a 30-year broadcasting veteran and a member of the Silver Circle himself. Sprinkle co-anchored KITV Island News in Hawaii for so many years, and incidentally, he is married to Pamela. He begins with some of the lessons less known about Pamela.
Pamela was baptized in the Jordan River in Israel, studied theology in Tassajara and Osaka, and is now an ordained minister. Journalism was always the goal, but not at first. After receiving her master's from San Francisco State, a fortuitous audition landed her not in front of the camera, but on the stage, touring with the Ann Halprin Dance Company as a soloist and in the ensembles of regional Broadway musicals and the National Touring Company of The Lion King. An opportunity at KPIX and later at KQED led her back to the world of words and pictures, and within the next 5 decades, Pamela would be scaling cliffs off the Antarctic Circle, breaking bread with Bedouins, hiking the Himalayas, being blessed by a pope, and co-anchoring our 5 p.m. newscast, which was #1 for 2 decades. But it was Mixed Plate that showcased a quirky, warped sense of whimsy.
What are you doing here?
I'm shooting a special in Hong Kong.
What show is that?
Mixed Plate.
Mixed Plate?
Those are fighting words.
Hey, your kung fu's pretty good.
You'll get a kick out of this. Aloha! Any more arguments?
No, not from us. Mixed Plate, great show. Let's go watch it. Let's go watch it. Yeah, let's go watch it. Okay.
The things I do for sweeps.
Despite the challenges of breast cancer and a stroke, Pamela's commitment to the community is unwavering. The Mixed Plate Scholarship Program provided college funds through the University of Hawaii Foundation. She is a newsreader for the Library for the Blind and an advocate for cancer research since her own diagnosis. Veteran volunteerism earned her the Congressional Gold Medal from the U.S. Congress, and it is her dedication to Natus that has energized the Hawaii membership. Her work continues as a reporter, producer, photographer, editor, and sometimes even choreographer and caterer. As with every woman in today's television industry, the work is never done.
Pamela, my friend I met through my work here as a governor with the National Academy of Television Arts and Sciences. It's so sad. She called me on Wednesday and she goes, I broke my foot. And I said, if you get a wheelchair, they're really good to you at the airport. But she was advised not to travel. So unfortunately, my friend, as so many of you are my friends, she couldn't be here. But the chocolates on your table she sent to us, they are from Hawaii, from Pamela Young. These are her gift to you. She said she is here in spirit. And I wanted to let you know I love doing Gold and Silver Circle. This is my last year. I am not going to be doing it anymore. I think it's time that someone else have the opportunity, the wonderful opportunity, to put this magnificent program on. I don't want to keep it away from you because I'm selfish about me. So I thank you all for participating for all the years and supporting Gold and Silver Circle, and aloha.
Ladies and gentlemen, I lost a bet.
I just can't believe that Joyce is leaving as the chairman of this wonderful event. Joyce and I have known each other. She was like my television wife. This was her real husband. We've known each other ever since the day she walked in the KCRA, which was well over 50 years ago. At any rate, on behalf of her husband Eric and her band leader, Robert Urbino, this is just a token of our appreciation for all the hard work that she has done. Now, I did say her band leader. Well, I got some news for you. Joyce is in a band.
A rock band.
Joyce plays the guitar. And she will next week on Wednesday. And she will be coming to a town near you. Yeah. So Joyce will always stay busy because that's just the kind of person that she is. And we all love Joyce. Joyce is a very hard worker. As you know, for over 10 years, she's put this thing together with a lot of passion and dedication. Joyce, love you, baby.
Love you, baby. I am humbled. We do this work. It's God's work. That's all I can say. It's God's work. And you are all making it possible. Thank you.